Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are going to be continuing the Let's Play for Reverse 1999. And I think today we're going to be wrapping up the last bits and pieces of the journey to Morpunkt. Now I say I think we're going to do that. I have no idea how long these two character stories are going to be, but if both of them are going to be roughly 2 hours combined, then we can put this into a single video, but we'll see. We'll see how it's gonna turn out, cause I still also need to do the usual stuff of, you know, the trailer reaction and stuff. Plus, I need to voice through these, so we'll see. Currently kinda swamped on the channel with some stuff. Most of the Arcnet stuff, of course, and I kinda don't wanna lose my voice for a couple of days, because I do need to keep recording that as well. But just saying in advance, if the Shamane part is gonna be a bit too long, I might split this into two. But yeah, we'll see. I need to obviously read through it first. But before we get into any of that, first and foremost, as always, on the previous episode, Willow Sages said, "Gosh, Morpunkt is honestly my favorite event ever. It's not even funny. All of the amazing cultural references plus great rep with an interesting and compelling story where every character has an actual role and arc. It's a compilation of everything that I love about this game. It's nice to return to this event, especially after 2.2 and its awful rep, but I digress. Anyways, 1.3 solos all other events fight me." I love the Moxie at the end. I love the sheer Moxie at the end. Thank you. First off, thank you for that comment. But I also selected your comment specifically because in the replies to you, I saw an interesting conversation, and it's something that I also picked up like randomly on the side as well. No spoilers, of course, but very similar to what you guys were discussing in the replies, pretty much to Willow here, was about the cultural representation of 2.2 and stuff. That it was kind of meh and or bad, depending on who you ask, I guess. But at the same time, that the story itself was good. So I have obviously no idea what's happening in it. That's chapter 8, of course. But I'm looking forward to seeing what the hop-up is about and how it works out. But also, when we get to it eventually, I will probably rely on you guys if I'm not gonna be picking up properly on the whole misrepresentation, or maybe it's what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe they are diving too much into basically turning characters into caricatures of culture and stuff like that, when they overdo like the whole thing. We'll see. If I'm not gonna be picking up on it properly when we get to that story, you guys can point it out to me. But the discussion definitely piqued my interest. But we'll get to it. We still have chapter 7 first and one more side story before that. But yeah, Willow, thank you very much for that comment, and everybody else for that interesting conversation on top of it. Now, a couple of other things that I saw as well in the comments. First and foremost, thank you for reminding me that the resonance goes up to max 15. That's obviously for, I believe, both 5 and 6 stars. But yeah, thank you for reminding me. I don't remember. I think we had a conversation like early into the Let's Play, but I might have forgotten about that. But regardless, thank you for reminding me about that. Also, for pointing out that most people stop at resonance 10 because further levels are a bit insane to well, to do. I'll be quite honest, as I have currently 4 characters on resonance 9. I kind of agree that even looking at resonance 10, I'm just like, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I'm good. I don't think I need to go higher right now. Especially for the fact that I'm not tryharding on the game as well. I don't think I need to go higher than R9. But yeah, thank you for that reminder. Also, another comment that I saw was pointing out the balance mode for the boss stage at the end. Especially what it means if you go into the balance mode and you're trying to do something like, I want to just use 4-star characters, for example. I didn't even notice it until I saw the comment and went back to check it out myself. But yeah, obviously through the balance mode in this one specifically, the 5 and 6-star characters will be put on Insight 3, level 20, and I think it was Resonance 12, I think it was. But obviously 4-star characters cannot go that high. They will be just max level, max resonance. And that's obviously in Insight 2. So that's kind of funny. It's kind of like if you want to try the event on an even more kind of challenging way, you can do it through that, I guess. But yeah, for purposes of the Let's Play and stuff like that, I'm not going to be, even if it sounds bad the way I'm going to say it, I'm not going to be wasting time and trying that. If the boss battle in chapter 6 from a couple of parts ago wasn't already an indicator enough, spending just 2 hours trying to clear it and just mostly bad RNG being on my side with the cards and stuff, with the skills. Yeah, you know, there's the whole thing of I need to record this, which will take probably up to 3 hours for certain parts. Then I need to edit it. Then I need to render it. The rendering, by the way, the rendering for these episodes is like 2 hours. I kid you not. Like 2 hours at least, or at most rather. It's ridiculous. Then the upload, then waiting on YouTube to finish its little shenanigans. It takes a couple of hours. So you know what? For maybe in my free time testing shit out like that, I'm fine with it. But for the purposes of the Let's Play, I think I'm gonna be sticking with my high level characters just to go through stuff. But I'll keep it in mind for like just shenanigans while a video is rendering and stuff like that. So I have something to do in the meantime. But yeah, thank you for pointing that out. That was kind of funny, but also logical that that's the way it is. Yeah, I would say that is that. So, how about we proceed into this? So, bells echoing in the valley. Now, this is gonna be Shamane, of course. Mostly, I have no idea who else is gonna be showing up alongside Shamane. Probably our usual characters from the story, I'm guessing. I will say though, however, I am bad at accents. I'm gonna do my usual shtick of doing a character off the cuff. I'm gonna try and do a bit of an accent for the guy. But please don't rip me apart. I am terrible at accents. Absolutely terrible. Well, let's begin. Oh, okay. Not immediately into a cutscene. Also, really, this music? Okay, cool. Last echoes in the forest. Oh, is this gonna be like the one part in Green Lake? Feels like it's gonna be like the same way. Couple of stages with just battles and then a couple of cutscenes here and there. The wind tears at what's left of his clothes. His body is like a hunk of naked flesh, crawling miserably along. Ooh. The scarred chest and the bloodied feet have numbed him, but he keeps his hollowed eyes fixed on the steep, terrifying road ahead.
Keep moving to the higher place.
Is this gonna be fully voiced actually? Hold on. He mumbles through cracked lips. Where is here? None could tell, but the man knows he must go north, away from that village, away from that city, and into the rumored depths to find his final salvation. By now he has successfully distanced himself from his homeland. But he does not know if he will make it, or if he will become a feast for the vultures. The physical agony and torment let him temporarily escape the mental torture. To him, this is enough. He does not want the journey to end. Instead, he wants the penance to go on ceaselessly, like the fierce wind swirling on the cliff.
This is...
Huh, interesting. Is this actually gonna be fully voiced? The uneven ground ends, and a dense forest lies ahead. Birds hop high above in the treetops. He hears a faint rustling from the bushes and the gurgling of melting ice water.
Water.
He buries his head in the icy river, the cold making his skull tremble, and rejoices with deep gulps. Oh wow. Practically baby Shamane. Wow. Also, this is the first time I'm actually seeing his face from like up front. That is wild. That is kind of wild, I'm not gonna lie. But okay, I see he has already... Yeah, he has already lost his arm. So this is... Oh, is this taking place right after? I'm sure the story is gonna tell me, but I wonder if this... Is this taking right after the story that he was telling about him losing his arm? Having guzzled down the water, he lies on the soft moss, gazing at the dreary sky.
Let's see how much farther you can take me.
I think this is gonna be completely voiced. This is kinda... Okay. That's kinda alleviating a lot of stuff from me. He digs out the sharp pebbles in his soles, tears off his left arm cloth to bandage the wound, and talks to the forest entrance. Walks. Jesus. A huge tree towers over the entrance. The bark is peeled off, carved with a twisted, bizarre deity. Oh god! The deity's face is smeared with beast blood, seemingly warning those about to enter the forest. A handful of wounds is placed on it.
After all the poisoned arrows, deadly traps, and the fierce animals.
Huh. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually surprised that this is gonna be voiced. Okay. Fingers without nails brush over the deity's eyes.
This face even looks welcoming to me, my friend.
Ugh, it just hit me. Fingers without nails. Ugh. He raises his hand, snaps off a thick branch, and staggers into the lush forest. Okay, so yeah, this is taking place right after he lost his arm. Why can't I see anything? The fog is really thick. Hopefully my ears will serve me better than my eyes. Oh, there's a river over there, but the water looks really turbulent. But the flow of the river is much slower now. Okay, go forward based on the objective, cross the river. If you complete additional objectives en route, you will receive additional rewards. Unscathed? Okay. Looks like this won't be an easy journey. Alright, fine. Watch your step. Keep an eye on Shamane's HP. When all 3 HP are spent, Shamane will perish. Sorry. I always find tutorials like that so funny. For those of you who have played and play the Atelier series, every time I start a new Atelier game, one of the first tutorials you will always get in that game is when your character's HP reaches 0, they lose. Like, thank you? I didn't know that. Anyway. Bells echoing in the Valley of Rules. When danger lurks in the forest, thorns and carbuncles will hurt Shamane and reduce HP by 1. The king bunkle roaming in the forest is extremely lethal. Try to stay away from it. Okay, big cat. Every area is divided into 2 sectors. Entering the boundary lets you enter the next sector, but there will be no going back. Okay, so once I pass the portal, can't go back anymore. Low rocks can be easily pushed aside, but the rocks cannot be moved if something else blocks its way. Okay. Shamane can smash aside branches on the way. Reach the destination to rest. Okay. So this I cannot touch, this I can move. I see. Okay, so move this, go up here, go here, smash this, move you, move through this, okay? Has a bit of a three doors flair with the move and everything. The river splits the land in two, like a crack in a canyon, turbulent and icy, never to be mended. Without a doubt, the rapids will sweep away anything that steps into the current, while the remains will become a feast for the fishes, continuing to nourish this forest.
It's not wise to wade this river.
He looks at the river's source and its destination, with no end in sight. Crouching down, he reaches his right arm into the rapids, feeling its breath and fury. But he frowns solemnly, withdrawing his hand.
Seems like I'm not welcome here either.
Bowing his head, he looks back at the way he came. After a long while, he turns and faces the river, taking a deep breath. Splash! He jumps in without hesitation. Alright, Shamane is a fish now. Washed ashore on the other side, he kneels on the ground, convulsing and vomiting. Good God, buddy. Going through an ice-cold river in your condition...
Just walk it off while you still can. Nothing to complain about.
Sure. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. In my head, I read bye and thanks for all the fish. Because of the river thing. Anyway. Bye. Thanks for the lift. You may have crossed the water, but you'll need to swim out of the river. You may find firewood, but you've got to start the fire. We should move on to the next location. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Where did it come from? And how did it end up here? Massive, immovable, anyone who sets their eyes on it would wonder about these things. The huge boulder, carved with strange patterns, is wedged in the crevice by accident or not, blocking the only way forward. It remains motionless, leaving only a gap the size of a fist. Oh, is this where the voice acting stops all of a sudden? That is so weird. It looks a bit taller than the sacred big tree at home. He pats the rock. Its smooth touch seems especially unfriendly now. It's not as easy to climb as that tree. He looks for footholds on the boulder and moves up it skillfully, climbing bit by bit with his right hand. Good. The boulder below suddenly begins to shake. Along with the strange movement, the patterns on the boulder emit light. The boulder shaking and intensifies until it jolts and throws him off violently. On the ground, a cone-shaped bone shard stands sharp, predictably piercing his calf. Ow! Ugh. Blood soaks the leg cloth. How is this rock? An unforeseen obstacle. Bearing the pain, he forcibly digs out the bone shard. Quite the temper. Uh-huh. That was interesting. Also very interesting. Not everything is voiced then. I see. Okay. He probes carefully, leaving a drop of blood on his fingertip from the thorns. The blood-red thorns have grown rampant. Within the thicket, numerous skeletons can be seen intact. The blood-soaked soil has turned dark crimson. This seems to be its sustenance. Ugh.
Seems like you've been feasting in the past years.
And now it's worse again. The fingers avoid the tips, instead grabbing the coarse branches between the spines.
I wonder what your teeth can do to the stones if they couldn't even break up human bones.
Okay, they're very selective with the voice acting here. Let me think. He gathers a pile of pebbles, picking out the hardest and sharpest rocks. Jesus. The rock held high crashes down on the thorns, shattering sections of branches. Bright red sap splatters on the arms in a speckled pattern. Jesus, yeah. Right, if the thing is feasting on living, well, on people and other things, then yeah, its insides are, the moisture inside of it is literally just gonna be blood.
Almost done.
The thorns on their last legs, Shamane reaches in with his stick, prying open the broken thorns and squeezing in sideways with his body. But the thorns seem to sense the foreign intrusion and swarm around, their hooks piercing his ankles, abdomen, and aiming for his eyes. Ow! The lone right hand grips the climbing branches tightly. At the very least, I can't stop here. The spikes pierce deep into the skin. He moves forward, disappearing into the thorn bushes. Ow! Owie! But yeah, the voice acting so far is very funny, very selective. After a day's bitter journey, his exhausted, battered body finally reaches a quiet place. The scabbed wounds ache faintly. He swallows a mouthful of bloody saliva, trying to deceive his howling stomach.
Nearly there.
He looks up, the sky spinning in his eyes. Without any warning, his heavy eyelids droop. Freezing darkness follows the hills, invading his body, and soon his conscience sinks into a dense darkness. Also, what was the part that I skipped? The sky draws its curtain. That was it. He collapses to the ground like a cut log. The faint sounds quickly are dispersed by the wind and snow, disappearing into the woods. To be continued. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Let's see if this is gonna have a cutscene on every single one of these, but if it's like the reduce to ashes, oh, I'm Shut up. Looks like a cutscene to me. He vaguely hears a woman crying helplessly. The sound of her trembling vocal cords is familiar. This is the fire back home, huh? I guess this is a nightmare that is playing out right now. The smell of burning wood rushes into his nose and he hears a crackling sound beside his ears.
Huh? This again.
Yeah, nightmare. He sees flames ablaze, engulfing the house before him, black debris floating before his eyes. He stands before the dilapidated house, shadows covering his face, a sense of suffocation like the day the fire started.
I won't fall for this again. I will stand here and watch you burn to ashes.
Yeah, that is definitely gonna be tough even in a nightmare just to stand there and not try and do anything. What if this is real? A voice whispers to him. The same voice to which he once sacrificed his left arm in a state of despair. Thus Morpungth was spared, but the powerful Sharma was no more in this world. You can still make a choice. The wooden door in the house collapses, sparks splashing on his face, painful, scalding, then doused by tears. Sweat streams down his dirty face, and he clenches his fists. This may be the last chance, you know. You try to abandon it all, to forget everything and numb yourself with physical pain, but the meaningless questions still swirl endlessly in your head. But is it really meaningless? Oh boy. These beams are all on fire. Ow! They're scorching hot. There's got to be a way around them. Uh-huh. This is a very interesting... Oh? This is a very interesting way to tell a story this time around using this self-same method. He used to look down on the family, disregarding his mission and wasting his outstanding talents. A veritable Eden, where Arcanists and humans could coexist with hierarchy. That should be the shared future we're pursuing. He had never wavered in this belief.
Father!
The crippled man supports himself on the table, sits on the floor and leans against the wall. The burning wood crashes down thunderously, shattering the table inches away, but the man is indifferent.
Kapil, you dumbass!
This isn't what we agreed to. Look at this fire! It's reaching our home! Our house!
I have no idea.
Aren't we supposed to throw all the bottles out? What the hell is that censored word? I would say dickhead? But those guys didn't tell us any of this. Forget it. Let's run. They stand in front of the gate as if watching a circus act gone wrong. These are your trusted human friends, good child. His father's voice echoed in his mind. Ah, okay. The guilt and grief have subsided over time. Only the deep-rooted hatred remains. He goes over and tries to support the old man on the ground, as he had done time and again in his nightmares.
We don't need you here.
Okay, I was wondering if they're gonna actually voice his dad. Rejected once again, his father's dignity and grace didn't fade in his memory, even after his death.
You are no longer a Sharma. Take your hats off me.
Father,
Your mother and I, the entire family, have invested years in your education. Yet you have let us down.
Oh, God, they're really selective with this. You are in no position to make any decisions for this family. Before this, even when he was estranged from the clan, they never doubted him. Rather, they saw him as a wayward child. You think our reluctance to interact with humans is just stubbornness. You think we shut those humans out to cling to our land, intimidated and afraid of losing this so-called dignity. Ushia? Not sure. Ushia, human friendship has blinded you, yet we have tolerated your childish ignorance many times. We always hoped you would turn back and understand it. So, understand it's not so simple. It is not so simple. This is not a rift you alone can mend. He shakes his head, his last bit of strength spent. His throat chokes up as he tries to utter those undelivered words.
I can give everything back to you as long as everyone gets out of this place.
Slap.
Out.
Wow. Wow. I kind of wonder, I hope there's gonna be more to this. Because, I don't know, usually this stuff in stories goes either one way, either his his dad and everything really kinda hated his guts or something, or the whole hate was just, it subsided long ago, and they just wanted, or rather he just wanted him seen to safety and was trying to basically scare him away. Without looking up, a broken beam falls across his eyes. Blood flows on the ground, mirroring the recurring scene from the nightmares that have haunted him since that day. Wow. The fire, it's coming this way. Oh no, I've got to stop all of this. Okay, new mechanics. Jumping over a burning beam removes 1 HP, every round, fires will spread according to the number of steps move. Number of steps move? That is a broken sentence. Moved. Fires are lethal hazards. Water in the clay vessels can be used to put out the fires and stop them from spreading. Shamane can push clay vessels in the way, but the broken pieces will block the way. Okay. I see. I see. Okay. 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 The hall becomes a sea of flames, and in the crackling and sputtering elegy of the fire, he hears a woman's prayer. Her voice is terribly familiar, reminding you of the lullabies that accompanied you through every punished night of your childhood. Kicking open the locked door, he sees the servants lying on the ground.
Come, Mama.
I can carry you out.
The white elephant will look after your soul.
And place you on a bed of warmth, where you shall attain eternal serenity. She clasps the servant's hands, granting him final peace. Bagat, I think? Bagat finds the Arcanists in the backyard and vows to stop them. But they came prepared, Those Molotov cocktails and weapons are not the likes you've seen before. It must be that group's bidding. These are things humans can't normally access. Who are they? Mother, tell me. Mother closes her eyes, shaking her head. Ugh. Blood keeps gushing from the servant's neck. Magat always told me that this is not your fault. I said to understand. I know that you've always been a good child. Her frail, pale hands are drenched in blood.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I didn't know they would do this. There wasn't any. They never told me. But his mother speaks no more. No matter how he tries, her body remains still. He looks around for ways to extinguish the flames. Turning back, a figure stands in the courtyard. He strides over in disbelief, stumbling. Hmm? Uh-huh. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this is interesting so far. Seeing the whole thing unfold. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There comes the fire. Uh-huh. Who are you? The burning sacred fig tree. The collapsing houses. She watches it all with delight, as if enjoying it.
Sister?
Oh. Why are you here?
Oh, now you see me as your sister.
And calling me like you had always known. Also, she's appearing as her old self? Interesting.
I remember you were this tall.
She casually gestures around her tie.
What?
Oh, this is... What is this, her future self? The day the manor gates closed before my eyes. Was the sacred fig tree so tall before? As for why I'm here, you should know best. You know I had nothing to do with this, but you think I'd enjoy it, so you let me into your head to watch, right? Well done. You do know me after all. She caresses the charred bark, indifferent to it all.
Don't look at me like that.
They want you to save them. I'm just an insignificant Arcanist wielding shoddy skills. As the words leave her lips, flames erupt once more, consuming the last pillar of the manor.
Huh?
Uh-oh. Run. Run, buddy. Now this one is interesting. Is this gonna be the dad's voice, or is this gonna be his own voice? Like, face your own inner demons kind of spiel. You've come again. Nothingness, shrouded in a veil of mist, a pure and unblemished white space.
Where am I?
That's unimportant.
What?
You dragged me into a nightmare again. Your soul always longs to return. Ah! A white elephant emerges from the mist. Hold on. A white elephant emerges from the mist, standing before him, solemn and dignified. It's you. What else will you take beside my arm? Come and take it. Besides this body, I have nothing left to give you. That is not the sound I would expect from an elephant, but sure. Its figure slowly fades away. Uh-huh. Alright. Alright, this is interesting so far. Fangs and fists. Instant transmissioning between them. Huh. Every single one of these notes is gonna have a story, huh? Interesting. Intense pain awakens his consciousness from the chaos. Flames, the elephant, they're just illusions. Ugh. His aching abdomen, the herbal paste on the wound gives off a pungent smell.
Huh?
He sits up. Animal bones hang on the walls, the rough wooden table, and the shelves, filled with all kinds of jars. A mask hangs from ropes at the center of the house. Its face is fierce, showing unquestionable authority.
Now, I am on the right track.
Mm-hmm. A note is weighted down by a rock on the chair. Close the door. The owner isn't a warm-hearted fellow then. But rejection is never the issue. All he has left now is patience. He gets up and pushes open the creaking door. Stepping across the threshold, he needs to quell his hunger first before the owner returns. Eat fast. Om nom 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 nom. Oh god. It doesn't look as docile as rabbits. Better stay away from it. Okay. What's this? The stream flows steadily as a group of tars drinks by the water. They look docile and clumsy, not alert in the slightest.
Okay.
He tries hard to ignore the pangs of hunger tormenting his stomach. The dagger turns lightly in his palm, and his footsteps grow more cautious. Please keep drinking. A muskox abruptly looks up, its eyes meeting his. The shining dagger reflects in its slanted pupil. Like a snapped line, it scurries away in panic. That was a lot of sound. The other musks respond to the escaped call, running away one after another. In a flash, Shamane stands alone on the plains, like a lone sprig. He sits on a rock, heaving a long sigh. Well, rip buddy. Ripperino. Okay. Okay, I had a feeling. This is gonna be a trick one, the way these were positioned. He washes his grimy face, the icy water sobering him a little more. If he goes deeper into the forest, perhaps he can fill his belly with some berries. If lucky, he may still get to prepare a meeting gift for that mysterious old shaman. Grace repays grace. One of the few useful teachings the clan left me. He casually picks up some pebbles and stuffs them into his pocket to keep the beasts away, and knocks berries of trees. He He frowns, keeping his distance. The pebbles on the ground arranged in a pattern like a spell.
What?
Is this? It's no longer intact because of his disruption. Uh-oh. It looks like...
What?
He looks down and sees a furry carbuncle biting his thigh.
Huh?
Just where did you come from? He lifts his leg, swinging hard. The carbuncle flies midair like a fallen fledgling, crashing heavily into the soft soil. Shamane holds it up to his face, examining the tiny strange creature. Suddenly, it quiets down. Grinning meaningfully, Shamane turns his head. A group of carbuncles is charging ferociously towards him. Oh boy. Run.
Do we have to do this, little one?
Yes, run.
Shall we make a deal?
Ooh. The squeezed carbuncle stares silently, seeming unwilling to let him go. Fine. Uh-huh. Oh, actual battle. Okay. Actual battle, it's gonna be carbuncles. That's a lot of carbuncles.
The hunt begins?
Alright. A fierce battle ends, with the carbuncles scattering away in leaps and bounds. Only one furball remains in place. He trembles all over, yet still stands tall before Shamane. Expressionless, Shamane raises a branch towards the furball, his long shadow falling over it, its fur drenched in fear. The branch swings down, but lands elsewhere. Unable to withstand the fear, the furball scurries away whimpering. Dropping the branch, he brushes the mud off, his empty stomach hastening his steps. It's not time to stop yet, but he knows his exhausted body can't face any more turmoil. Oh, I see berries! Forests always nest packs of wolves. Berries were scattered around, but it was him they were eyeing, baring fangs, growling low, and clearly unwilling to let him leave.
Come on then, try me, friends.
Of course, he can't fight the wolf pack. But right now, retreating and advancing are equally dangerous. Bluffing is also a philosophy of survival.
I will cut your warm belly open before you pierce my neck with those teeth and suck up my blood.
Damn. The alpha approaches step by step, the rest of the pack following far behind. He takes out his dagger, legs instinctively in a battle stance. Why am I getting text choices? An opportunity. He steps back, breaking into a run, rushing into the woods. The sound of the wolf's pursuit is relentless, trailing closely behind. Huh. Got to think of something to hold them off. Okay. Escape from the ravenous wolves and reach destination. Okay. Get screwed over? Uh-huh. 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 Ay, not good. Okay, that wasn't good, but okay. This is the end. Below the towering cliff lies a turbulent, narrow river. Vultures circle above, awaiting fresh corpses. He has nowhere left to retreat. The wolf pack halts. For this imminent meal, what they have to consider now is how to obtain it with the fewest losses. He closes his eyes, nostrils contracting as he inhales. If it can't stop here. The pack attacks, but he releases the dagger in hand. Now any one of their claws can tear his body apart. Oh! A whistle sounds and the wolves pause, quickly retreating back to their original spots. A hunchbacked figure strides out of the forest, casually throwing the wolves some rotten meat. The alpha takes the meat, leaving silently with the rest of the pack. He turns his head slightly, his gaze sliding past the dagger on the ground and glancing at the figure standing at the edge of the cliff, before heading into the forest without looking back. Shamane watches the hunchbacked figure leave further and further. Finally snapping out of shock, he jogs to catch up. Well, the old man invited you. Better catch up, buddy. Okay. Alright. Oh wait, what? Oh. I thought I clicked collect all. Never mind. Okay. Well, I got the star, so I guess that was fine? Anyway. In humility. Although hunchbacked, the old man's steps are much faster than his. He moves casually through the shady, lush forest as if walking through his backyard garden. I mean, if he lives here, so yeah? He's just used to the terrain. Shamane drags his battered body, scrambling to chase after the hunchbacked man. It was you who helped me. The certainty in his words declares it no question. The old man ignores the youth's words, as silent as ever. His footsteps remain the same, seemingly oblivious to the panting growing heavier behind him. Until he seems to notice something, stopping in his track. An injured vulture lies on the ground, its pecked eyes bloody.
Huh?
Shamane looks over the old man's shoulder, seeing the holes in the vulture's skull. This isn't appropriate, nor is it delicacy. It's all just instinct, and the shame that instinct brings makes his cheeks flush. I am. The old man pays no mind to you. He reaches out his rough, bark-like hand, gently stroking the vulture. It trembles no more, pupils gazing up at him, as if looking upon a deity. Finally, the calmness of death descends, accompanied by flies, and he, too, leaves. The two continue walking in silence, one after another. Find the shaman. Okay. Oh, hi. And there's the carbuncle. By the stone formation in the gully, a familiar silhouette sways lightly. Its black fluff bristles slightly. It's on alert.
Huh?
Ah, it's the one from before. The old man walks straight towards it. The furball bounces over and you see him bow slightly, placing a bunch of purple flowers on the formation. The tiny carbuncle happily hops, gladly making way. The old man shakes his head, flashing a light smile, and steps over the cleared path. The carbuncle dutifully returns to its original spot, continuing its alert glances. Yeah, you're not passing. Uh-huh. Looks like I should give it something. Okay. Got the thingy, got the flower, so let's return it. The furry thing smells Shamane from afar. Without a word, it bites down on Shamane's cough familiarly. Fine, I should have been more courteous. He opens his palm, the little purple flower drenched in blood and sweat, wrinkled beyond recognition, lifeless like the one who picked him. I saw he had, something like this. Sorry, they got all. He tilts his head, he tilts his body slightly and raises his left shoulder. It releases its mouth, looking somewhat dissatisfied. But it's generous with him. The carbuncle reluctantly moves aside. Thank you.
You have done your part dutifully.
He places the new adornment on the formation and catches up to the old man in the distance. The furball gazes at him as his silhouette grows smaller and smaller. Adorable? Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, hold on. They paw away rocks, chewing the tender grass underneath. Without the noise of water, the Thar's ears are especially keen. The slightest wind can make them alert. Damn, that's a whistle. The long whistle pierces through the woods, gullies and streams echoing across the deep mountains. The herd suddenly lifts their heads as one, looking at the old man above them, like a flock of loyal disciples. The old man jumps down, and the herd abandons the delicious tender grass below, scurrying after him. Follow the herd from behind, join the herd. Follow the herd from behind. Shamane follows behind the sheep, observing a staggering lamb at his feet. It struggles to keep up, stumbling and falling behind. Reaching out his right hand, he gently carries the lamb overhead, squeezing into the herd. Okay, I think that was a good decision. Sounds like one. What are you? Okay, I needed that. Oh, those are the wolves. The wolf pack lies between the rocks, not bearing fangs or claws. Uh-huh. The alpha straightens up, looking straight at the approaching old man. The old man's steps happen to stop not far from the pack. He slowly takes another step, as if breaking some boundary, and the Alpha swiftly baring fangs, arching its back.
I need to ask you to leave for a bit.
The old man takes out a rope-like object. Folding the small pouch on it, putting in a stone, he swings his wrist. The rock shoots towards the pack, leaving an indent in the tree trunk behind them. Damn! Hearing the sound, the Alpha's erect ears tilt back slightly. It twitches its nose, hesitating for a moment, and then leads the pack to retreat to the side of the rocks. The old man picks up the stone, sighing. His unforgiving silhouette keeps moving, hands clasped behind his back, as he gradually walks away. Shamane catches up, but the pack quickly scurries back, bearing their blood-red gums, clearly hostile. With your fragile fists, or perhaps you can find another way. Battle. I'm guessing? I did pick something up. I guess this is gonna be for them. Oh, that was probably a rock. Tree branches, sheep wool. He cobbles them together into a crude slingshot. Yup. Here's hoping this bluff works. Grabbing a pebble, he places it in the left pouch and tries swinging it like the old man. The pebble flies high. Before it even lands, the Alpha makes way and the wolves scatter. But the pebble hits nothing, flying endlessly, falling who knows where. I looked like that too when I saw the fire. The fear. Well, I can't take credit for that. The path opens like an outstretched hand. Free to go. Okay. Almost there. He can already vaguely see the outline of the cabin. His body is still panging with hunger. Another fruitless day. Fruitless. Every day is fruitless. At least this time I remembered to close the door. He doesn't know why he's back here again. He has no home. But what if? Could it be? He's ashamed to still be alive, but he's come this far, all in search of life's answer. The blurry outline ahead becomes clearer. Shamane sees the old man standing at the door of the cabin, gazing down at him at the forest behind him. He stops. The old man turns and enters the cabin, yet the door remains open. His troubled thoughts dissipate, and he quickened his steps up the steep slope. Well, the old man recognizes something in you, buddy. You are being let in. That's a chance. All right. Then for the next stages, huh? Let's see. Okay, this is gonna be the rest then. I see the wolves. It rains the same old rain. Autumn winds batter the door, the fire quietly burning, gathering warmth. Inside, a bed has been conspicuously added, the hanging masks knocking into each other with a dull clinking sound. And now he has his usual portrait, huh? In the house, the man twirls his dagger nimbly around the deer's neck, instantly slitting the throat open perfectly. The blade gently cuts between the muscles and fur, and in no time, with the crisp sound of the dagger dropping, the whole deer skin is neatly peeled off. The blood-soaked right hand gently picks up the deer skin. He tilts his head, stepping onto the skin's end with his right foot, proudly approaching the unfurled work in hand. Looks like this little guy will make a good drum skin. Let's see what the old man wants today. He releases his right foot, pulling the deerskin, and uses his relatively clean toes to pinch the note lying slightly out of reach.
Huh? What? No.
This old guy, seriously? He bolts up, nearly punching a hole in the ceiling. Startled, the magpies behind the house call out loudly.
Ah.
He really wants me to die in those woods. Shamane grumbles, but still washes the dagger clean in the basin, and turns to put out the fire. Okay, so this is definitely like a time jump. Pushing open the wooden door, a strong wind blasts in, blowing over many jars. In a gloomy autumn day, the skies are overcast, and the forest is steeped in gold. Let's go. Okay. What does he want from him? Visit the river, okay. Okay. It remains the poles of the hills, ceaselessly night and day, dividing the land in two, like an insurmountable chasm. The gurgling waters surge forth, even more turbulent than before. Shamane steps barefoot into the river, steady as a boulder. It's so cold. He slowly submerges into the icy river until the waters pass over his head. Okay. Inside the endlessly turbulent river, it's as tranquil as the womb. Oh, the menu music is playing. Here the ripples vanish, the bottom clearly visible. The river tenderly receives Shamane, enveloping him. This river was once called Krupi. It's said those close to her can obtain her gifts on the riverbed. Sparkles? Okay. He opens his eyes below in the river. The glowing aquatic plants flourish like stars in the water. Thank you. Shamane reaches out, gently plucking one. By the time he returns ashore, the waters are churning once again. Okay. Okay. What did you need that for? Another old friend, long unseen. It sits here, enduring storms and invading winds. Despite the erosion of time, it doesn't budge an inch. Stubborn, obstinate, rigid, indifferent to all criticism. Huh? Oh, you used to be this small? He raises his solitary arm, trying to measure its change. I remember back then, you were at least 5 or 6 trees wide. After I left, you must have given quite some people headaches, big guy. The boulder surface is scarred all over, carved, burned, pummeled, anything imaginable to get back at it. but I've grown some. He touches these scars, lightly pressing his forehead against the hard boulder and stepping back. Then he kneels, bowing his head, letting his forehead sink deep into the damp soil, paying due reverence. He hears the soil loosen, and the boulder rises from its haughty throne, shifting aside.
Ha! Thank you, my proud friend.
Under the boulder's throne, a verdant plant is bent over. Shamane gently picks it. Huh. That rocked my idea. Okay. Good to know. A familiar place. The thorn has expanded further, encompassing dozens of towering trees. Spikes entwine the roots, nests and branches sealed off, feathers hooked on the spikes.
Remember what happened when we first met? You nearly blinded one of my eyes.
Below, a grey rabbit is hooked by its skin, blood staining its fur. It's exhausted, no longer struggling. What a shame. I know how to deal with you now. I need to borrow something from you. He cuts his palm, blood dripping down, seeping into the soil. He lowers his head, deep syllable spilling from his throat. The thorns sip the blood, slowly retreating like a snake back to its nest. The spikes pull out of the rabbit, which quickly escapes. A clear path appears ahead.
Let me see.
Oh, thank you so much. Let me see. A flower crown? Can this be called such a thing? Brushing aside dead leaves, he scans the exposed patches of earth.
Huh?
Lifting his foot, a withered ring of thorns, hardly worthy of being called a crown, reveals itself. Oh well, didn't say it had to be intact, right? Well, if it didn't say it, it didn't say it. Eight. Shamane followed the... Ooh. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Ooh. Okay, can I read it, please? Can you stop auto-scrolling? I swear, game, you better not. It's not stopping. This scene better not end, because I need to read it properly. This is auto-scrolling so fast! I swear, this is gonna end without me properly reading it, right? You better not. You better not, game. Okay, thanks. Holy shit, this went so fast. Okay. 8. Shamane followed the bizarre old man for 8 harsh winters. But something changed in the 3rd year after they met. It was a stormy, snowy night, and he held the wolf pup safe from the bear's belly, as if holding his past self in the flames. He thought he had shed all his tears, but the heart-wrenching pain was merely swallowed and kept silent. The fear of death is nothing more than a shield over a pair of eyes, until in the cold winds, drenched in blood, trembling, he held the sole survivor, and discovered fear and pain once more. He dwelled with them again day and night, only this time he would no longer flee in defeat. Okay. But yeah, that was scrolling by so fast compared to the usual auto-scrolling. I think that's about everything. Then the taciturn shaman began teaching him all about nature. He hadn't found life's meaning, but he no longer searched for one. As long as I can keep going, keep moving forward. The nightmares halted before his bed. Good. Shamane stands at the forest entrance. He has one last item left. Fine rain scrapes his face, the forest drizzling, and he quickens his steps. This is a very interesting and symbolic way of going about the whole growing over his what's it called? His nightmare. Okay, friendship with a fluff ball. Okay. Friendship with a fluff ball. Time to befriend the little carbuncles. Or is it a wolf pup? It's far on the other side of the mountain, requiring him to first cross this dark, dense forest. The rain intensifies, mud underfoot, his steps are arduous. Arduous. This is an insignificant part of the penance. Compared to the unfathomable human heart, nature is harmonious. You might
have sent your blessing to the wrong place.
He wipes away the rain, blurring his vision, panting loudly to avoid sucking water up his nose. The way ahead is still unclear, but at least this time he knows where to go. Uh-huh. A bush? Oh, there's a carbuncle. Thorn grass. That's troublesome. Hopefully, it left me another path. The grass, taller than his waist, forms a dense barrier. Softened by the raindrops, it's bent to the waist. Once touched, the blades stiffen, their interwoven and razor-sharp edges able to cut skin to ribbons. Faint sound comes from the thickets.
Hey, little fella. What are you doing here?
The rain has soaked the lamb's fur, head down, chewing on the thorn grass roots. Their tongue secretions can make the grass lower its defenses. Where are your friends? It lifts its head, bleeding, revealing a head missing an ear.
Huh?
You are... Battle? Oh no, okay. Flashback. The ram collapses on the ground, panting and struggling, the wolf's sharp teeth deeply embedded in its flesh like a barbed hook. Don't go over. Shamane releases the dagger in his hand, swallowing his voice, obediently backing into the bushes. The elderly ram was isolated, which usually meant a gruesome ending.
Huh?
But it's your sheep, isn't it? No life should belong to me. A sound rustles in the bushes. Crackle. But instead of a foot, a small lamb peeks out.
Huh?
The lamb lifts its short horns, rushing at the wolf pack without hesitation and toppling over. The pack retreats half a step, then surges forth again, gnawing the lamb's head, tearing its tender fur. The bushes begin rustling once again, and the flock charges out, rushing at the wolves. Yeah? Seeing you really makes me happy, friend. He kisses its soft forehead. His whistle pierces through the torrential rain, like an arrow shooting into the distant forest. After a brief silence, a group of tars rushes over, one after another. They squeeze Shamane back, diligently chewing away the thorn grass. Soon, the barrier is cleared away. Yes, that's right. Alright. They had their fun. Uh-oh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. There's the carbuncle. The sort of friendly one. In the gully, the river rises high, submerging the pebble road. The formation is scattered by the rain, the furball hopping anxiously atop a tall rock. It has no way out, the rapid waters surging beneath it.
Stay there. Don't move.
Shamane wades into the rapids and carries the furball off the rock. Safe on land, it stares wide-eyed, looking curiously at the tall figure before it.
Huh?
Why are you all alone? Drenched, the furball scurries left and right, trying to explain. Realizing its futility, it pitifully stops and stands in place. Come on, follow me. Shamane places it atop its head. The furball sways about, finding its balance, sitting steadily. Alright. Here's the body. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Was thinking there for a second. Yeah, that was the right choice to move. Oh. That was an empty space. Okay. Alrighty then. Now we're on the same side. Since we're now allies, care to lend me a hand? Carbuncle has joined your side and is happy to do your bidding. Okay. Oh. Uh-huh. Carbuncles are agile and can easily move amongst the thorns. Being small also means not having the strength to move rocks, but it can easily crush twigs and branches. Carbuncles cannot fight other critters. Consider your moves carefully. Shamane must personally reach the goal to complete the training. Okay. There we go. A cave appears ahead, pitch black and unfathomable. Still, it's dry and keeps out the chilling wind. Oh, nature's gift. Shamane leans in, bringing on his clothes. He takes out a piece of flint and looks around, but the dry twigs on the ground are too brittle and wet. There is nothing that would easily ignite. Well, not nothing. Also, excuse me, but the dry twigs on the ground are too brittle and wet. Then they're not dry. Excuse me, then they're not dry. Anyway. He grabs the fur ball of his head, squeezing it in his hand. Fluffy, warm, and ignitable. Are you gonna ignite the carbuncle? The furball senses the danger. Hey, this is a good deal. It will be good for both of us to warm up. The carbuncle clearly doesn't understand the negotiation, but it does feel the chill of the cave. The furball curses, turning around to reveal its long back fur. See? You're so considerate. He reaches out, quickly and decisively pulling out a tuft. Ow! Thanks to its help, Shamane gets a fire going. Soon, the flames are blazing fiercely, radiating warmth. The flames light the cave. A hulking figure staggers over, following the light. Uh-huh. The hell? The verbal scurries behind Shamane's rear. Huh? This is... Shamane stands, peering into the darkness. Oh, is the elephant again? The hulking figure struggles to stand and crashes to the ground. Shamane gently approaches, supporting the body and touching the wound on its neck, its breath weak and exhausted.
I'm sorry.
The giant moose knows death is coming, like a slow, gentle nightfall, and this cave is its chosen resting place. He gently holds up its head, easing its pain as much as possible. He looks into its dimming eyes, feeling his palms gradually soaked in blood. The stench of blood spreads, attracting wolves outside the cave. Caught off guard, the Alpha pounces, knocking Shamane to the ground. Ugh. The rest of the pack follows, pouncing together. Excitedly, they lick his face and warm palms.
Enough. Now that's enough, my friends. Sit, sit.
Friends, I have something I still need to do. He kneels by the moose.
A feast has been given to us. May it walk with you, Mother Nature.
Footprints trace the cliff's edge, startling the birds into flight, becoming food and nurturing life. Destruction precedes creation, death nurtures birth. The wolves feast merrily, surrounding him like children, keeping him warm with their thick fur. Right then and there, Shamane's stomach starts howling. The furball glances up at him, staggering over with meat in its mouth. The flames flicker as the wolf snores, rise, and fall. Outside the cave, the rain still falls. Well, he's one with nature. Damn. He really became a shaman. As dawn approaches, the torrential rain eases and mist shrouds the forest. He leaves the cave early, heading towards the forest's edge. Before long, the path ends and he is met by towering cliffs. He looks down, another forest flourishing below, where the last herbs grow.
All right. Wish me luck.
He climbs down the imposing cliffs tremulously. A shadow blocks the sunlight.
Hey! Hey! Don't!
Don't come down! The furry creature leaps over, smacking him in the face. I must save... The stones on the cliff can't bear their weight, falling alongside his shouts. Uh-oh. Well, the little guy was eager. They were buddies. He was not gonna leave him alone. Alright, 2 left. At the end of the forest. Shamane opens his eyes, only to find the furball staring at him with its round eyes. You rascal, I only plucked some of your fur. You didn't have to go this far. It grabs the herbs in its mouth, bouncing away.
Hey!
Give that back! I'll pluck some of my own hair if I have to. You kinda have a lot of it, why didn't you use your hair? I know human hair burns weird, but you could have used it. But before he finishes speaking, the furry thing blends into the bushes. He gets up helplessly, bearing the pain, following it into the misty forest. Oh god, okay. So what's this?
Huh?
All living beings, souls bound, from beasts to birds, from flowing waters to unyielding stones, all share an equal essence. Kill and trample not, hold respect within. He leans down, the carved lines on the steely ancient and the carved lines on the steely ancient and too eroded to discern.
These strokes.
He goes behind the steely, finding the surface blood-stained from long ago. The furball ignores the steely, bounding ahead on its own. Alright. Interesting.
Huh?
He smells the mist, frowning.
Smells like mushrooms.
Danger lurks within, an instinct honed over months and years. Brushing aside some weeds, another steely appears. The steely is severely damaged, its carvings unrecognizable. Life is ceaseless as the endless streams. Those against nature shall suffer.
Huh?
Hearing a crackling sound below, he shifts his foot, revealing the bone of a human hand. Uh-oh. Okay. Fungi cover the tree trunks, dense like swarming bees. Sticky fluids seep from the dark green mushrooms, dripping onto withered plants.
Huh?
This place was nothing like this before. Something feels wrong. What is this strange place? He carefully surveys the surroundings, finding a steely, warped-in, cyst-like fungi. Suppressing disgust, he pulls out the fungal bodies, revealing the carved lines on the steely. Death and life, movement and stillness, all are one. Thoughts and feelings are but ephemeral shells. This is such an obvious warning. I should have known this is another of the old man's traps. But before entering the forest, it is pointless to question such things. Let's go. What else can we do but enter and look? True. Okay. The carbuncle stops, excitedly showing him this swamp. At the forest edge, a group of black carbuncles are grouped together, as if deep in discussion. He realizes this is likely their former habitat. Oh, so you brought me to meet your little friends? Great. Otherwise, the old man would complain about having another mouth to feed. As he approaches, the strange feeling intensifies. I say, your friends don't seem as chatty as you. This smell is quite rancid. The rotten stench rushes up his nose, making him gag. The furry creature's friends remain in place. Hey, I brought your friend back.
Huh?
Touching them, the carbuncles rolled down, revealing hollowed eye sockets. Ooh.
Hey!
The football! It jumps onto a rock in the swamp's center. An orange plant entwined by mycelium sits on it. It's just what he's been looking for.
Oh, watch out!
Hey, be careful! Crack. He looks down and sees a broken shaman mask under his foot.
Huh?
Damn it. Lifting his head, a hand suddenly flies out, dragging him into the swamp without a word. Well, that's a problem. Battle? Yep. Anything special here? Oh boy, plant lindwormski. Oh, I have the carbuncle is here, okay. That's funny.
Alright, deep breath in.
Hold on to that.
This is not bad for a stretch.
Okay then. Give it to me. Dragging his battered body, he uses his last ounce of strength to ignite a piece of wood, hurling it into the heart of the fungus. The fungi shriek as the flames scorch them, eventually turning to ashes. Holding the plant in his arms, he crawls toward the exit on the ground.
Huh?
The smell of burned fungi invades his nose. Oh no. A sourceless mist fills his mind like water, devouring his legs and gradually spreading to the tip of his nose. His eyes grow veiled? Uh-huh. Getting high on shrooms? A black figure emerges in the mist. Oh. Oh, is the little guy carrying him out? A loner among the carbuncles, it has carried countless things across the neglected forest. Fur damp, icicles hang from its frozen snot. What am I reading? Fur damp icicles hang from its frozen snot. The source of water in the harsh winters is the culprit for everyone's growling stomachs. Sticky, delicious honeycombs that make one swell up painfully are the great lord's tribute. And the huge, incessant rocks tumbling down the tall slopes that harm it, is that not their true purpose? But this is the strangest thing it carries. A human. It is a warm and rather smelly creature. What is that? What is that? It doesn't care. It carries the heavy body climbing up like always. Yet something is different. Reaching the exit, the mist recedes, and light spills down. It puts down the body. It's time to go back. Okay. The hero bunkle. They're best buddies. Okay, that was adorable. And sad, kinda. Alright, final one. Let's see. Dimming Embers. The uncrossable river, the impregnable thorns, the unyielding boulders, they come in waves. Nature stands bare before you with no one avoiding its existence. You must wade in and touch with your own hands. You retreat in fear, knowing its essence. Only when shattered does a stubborn rock know its toughness. Only when nearly extinguished can a flame extend its brightness. Oh, we're back here. Once again, he finds himself in the same place. He feels the scorching air and hears the cries and wails echoing as flames gradually consume the house. I haven't been back for a long time. I called you back here, the once familiar voice says. It's collapsing. This is the last time. I won't bring you back here again. You can leave as you wish. Nothing will hinder you. Interesting. Let's go with I want to see them again. You sacrificed an arm. I'll pray for you. Good luck. Okay. Okay. Search the fire. Oh. Okay, we're gonna go through the same beats. He is still lying by the corner, on his last breath. He steps into the hall, standing before him, his shadow enveloping him. This stubborn man shoulders the clan's burden, with no reprieve. Now his throat is unable to utter ringing rebukes. His calloused hands are no longer able to grip his son tightly. As Shamane gazes upon his figure, it is a shadow of its former self.
Father.
He gently lowers himself, placing his palm over the battered hand. I never succeeded in abandoning my guilt. He looks at the aged face, yet it feels more like he's talking to himself. Yet, I failed to replace it with regret.
I'm sorry.
To this day, my choice weighs on me. He looks up, gripping his hand. He doesn't try to pull him up, rather he just holds the old man tightly. Aww.
I think I got the stubbornness from you, Father.
Shamane's father embraces him, pulling him over and ruffling his hair. Aww. He recalls such moments were commonplace before. The father leans on his shoulder, lips trembling. A heavy object is gently placed in his palm.
Huh?
This is your sister's. I understand. Finally, very yet reconciled, the old man lets go. Well, that is one way to get closure. Oh, here comes the fire. Time to book it out of here. Ooh, very close. Uncomfortably close. Like a candle swaying in the wind, she sits by the servant's corpse, serenely awaiting the flames.
Mama.
This face that once made him weep, these hands that held him up, now they are just withered remains, her gaze dim, eyes empty. He still doesn't know how to face her. She looks up, gazing at this strong, grown child. Her face reveals a familiar smile. He goes forth, embracing her body as frail as withered leaves. Who are they? If it was the past him, he would cling to this answer. You always protected me. That was the final barrier between her and her son, knowing the truth would only bring unknown danger. Now he understands.
You've grown taller, Pusher.
Mother, She gently nudges him to stand, helping him away from the sea of flames. Her smiling face gradually blurs until it completely disappears amidst the flames. Aww. He's getting closure finally. And now for the sister. Like dusk in autumn, the sacred fig tree silently burns. The woman gazing at it under the tree for a long time. It brought you here too. She remains silent. He reaches out to the figure below, opening his palm. A moonstone ground smooth. Is this yours, sister? Kumar raises her eyebrows slightly. Where did you get this? I think you know.
He said sorry.
To me. He never says that. Kumar takes the round stone, gently tossing it into the air. She stands holding the pebble for a bit. Turning, she wanders towards the flames.
Where are you going?
He told me to bring you back. But I think you should decide for yourself. She waves casually in a perfunctory gesture, or perhaps bidding farewell. You deserve your freedom, my sister. He murmurs to her as she departs. The boy's getting all the closure. Sorta. Going deeper into the sea of flames, the heat gradually dissipates. At the path's end, he sees a door enveloped in fire. This is the final stretch, Pusha. I will bid you farewell, too. Bye. I have protected every Sharma, but you shall no longer be one of them. What does that mean? You'll understand. You'll eventually know this is not an ill thing. I'm very grateful for your choice back then. I did indeed take that arm. Now I must leave. Go on, child. Shamane looks around, but the elephant has vanished without a trace. He holds his breath, turning the handle, light spilling through the crack. Oh.
You owe it gratitude for its protection.
Opening his eyes once more, he finds himself in a cabin, the alpha wolf at his bedside. He sits up, pressing his dizzy head.
Huh?
What happened to me? Huh? Where is it? Where did it go?
What are you talking about?
Shamane scans the room, trying to find the tiny black figure, but without success. That carbuncle, it should have been with me. The wolf carried you back here, with everything on your person, but no carbuncle, child. As the alpha licks his hand, he feels an itch, realizing that his palm is gripping something tightly. Opening his palm, he sees a tuft of fur. He inhales, taking a deep breath. The shaman rummages through his pocket and hands over an unopened letter. This was with you on the doorstep. He takes the unopened letter, the pattern on the seal wax, one that emerged countless times in his dreams. Frowning, the scene before him is bewildering. Inside the envelope, the letter is blank. And that's the thing that calls him back. He's gonna cut here. It's from Morpanth? Yeah? The end. Okay, this was interesting. Wow. That's kind of funny. He literally made peace with his past just before the Morpanth story begins. That's kind of hilarious. The timing of it, that is. Oh, wow. Just noticed. The shaman, his mother, and his sister. The only one missing here is his... Oh, no. This is his father. His father was full in blue. His family is at the end of the path. That is... bittersweet, I would say. A bittersweet ending for that. Okay. Let me just, before we go into the other story then, because I think this is gonna be fine for one more. Let me clear this thing up and pick up the rewards. Alrighty then. Let's see about Kala's one. Between Dusts and Stars. Okay, you're gonna have the same thing, huh? Alright, let's do this. The procrastination syndrome. Procrastination syndrome. Alright. Ooh. There's the comet. An icy wind blasts you in the face, and a mist fogs up your eyes. Okay, I'm gonna guess this story is also gonna be a prequel then to Morpanth. You don't know where you are, but with laden steps you press on. You can make me feel yourself moving to a higher place. You can't stay here. You definitely have to get away. Look, a thick rope is thrown down from above. Strong and sturdy, it waves at you as it swings in the wind. Your legs are trembling, your eyes are losing focus, and your blood is running cold. You stop, and you hesitate. An escape. Reach for it? Grab on, you have nothing to lose. Ignore it, even the dying should remain dignified. Okay, grab on. You reach for the rope and hold on for dear life. You would have grabbed it with your teeth if you could. Sadly, it's not as sturdy as it looks. Crack. You hear the snap of a fishing line. Suddenly you're falling. Panic and fear overwhelm you and take hold of your mind. Research laboratory. Late at night in the research institute, all is quiet as usual. Oh, is this also gonna be like 80% voiced? The documents and proposals under your arms have been there for too long. They were probably the cause of the nightmare.
4:15? I slept almost 4 hours?
That's a nice nap.
It was supposed to be a quick nap.
What is that snoring? You hear faint snoring from all around. The rest of the staff is sound asleep. Wake up, Kala. The deadline is coming sooner than I thought. Partially voiced. Oh. Looks like everybody's exhausted. Stay sharp. We might find something to eat in the research lab. Every action will cause Kala focus. Okay. You must reach... Oh, this is one of these. You must reach the destination before she runs out of focus. Points the way forward. Okay. Search for cereal bars. Oh, too real. Too real. Meet the requirements here to obtain an unexpected payoff. An unexpected payoff? What? Examine the crumpled drafts. Okay. There's still plenty of time. I've got to finish my work before I let the intrusive thoughts get to me. The intrusive thoughts. Follow the guide and reach the destination. You cannot pass through sealed areas. Trigger events to create or unlock sealed areas. Okay. What is that? Oh, that's the bar there as well. A researcher is fast asleep on the floor. She's breathing steadily like a baby. Only her adult size makes the scene not so adorable or appropriate. Wake her up, okay? Go sleep in the conference room, Daksha. Rubbing her eyes, Daksha doesn't seem to realize where she is. After finally figuring it out, she jumps to her feet in great surprise.
Oh, gosh.
Did I fall asleep on the floor? Why don't you go home? I thought you already finished that report. No, Kumar gave me some new suggestions for my research direction. I have to start all over again.
She did that again?
This is going to be my last project here. That's right. I should have done this earlier.
Selective voice acting, love it. With that, she buries herself in research, ignoring you. You take a deep breath and walk away. Alright. Oh, I need them. The roar is shaking the air, huh? From that... These crumpled drafts are research waste. They are now in the trash. A yellow piece of paper catches your attention. Something you threw away. What was it again? Pick it up. Galabona, fresh off a promotion. The senior researcher Dani, I guess. The senior researcher Dani formally challenges you. The loser of the Aryabhata award will be at the winner's back and call for hot coffee, Dani. What is this? Did you have your own Matilda? You snort disdainfully, crumple it into a bowl and throw it back in the trash. This girl had her own Matilda. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Half a cereal bar lies on the table, dry, stale, and half exposed. It doesn't look very appetizing. It's from the day before yesterday. Ooh. Ooh, a cereal bar open for so long? Ooh, this thing is... I mean, it's still edible, but, ooh. That will taste weird. Well, beggars can't be choosers. It tastes...
Much better than I thought. Lucky.
Yeah. You examine the cereal bar and notice that something's a bit off.
Gaurav,
Now the whole team has to pay for your screw-up. You can't even distinguish a single star from a binary star? What academy, in its right mind, ever let you in? Cowbridge? Sorry.
and we're working in an institution, not a pet store. Remember to tie it to the door.
Even the smallest mistake can result in a sleepless night for everyone. Miss Kala Bona. You take the coffee with both hands. The overly enthusiastic puppy is still at your knees, oblivious to the unpleasant state of affairs. These telescopes are our eyes, using thousands of years of observational data to guide us as we peer into the depths of the universe.
Well, we have never seen it with our own eyes, though.
But I'm sure Again, please do not forget to conduct analyses on the changes in the spectral lines. They should be treated like your second pair of eyes.
Yes, miss.
Gaurav lowers his head and pulls a cereal bar out of his pocket, drawing the friendly puppy's attention. He absentmindedly feeds the puppy until researchers call him away.
So...
Wait a minute. Did you just eat a cereal bar that was meant for a dog? Or a dog ate it already halfway? You turn the cereal bar over and see jagged gnawing marks on it. Yup. Yup. The shadows are hot on my heels. I should hurry up. Get to the next before you lose all focus. The shadow will be close behind Kala. You must dodge at all times. Well. Now that you're fully awake, it's time to get back to work. No, I need another 5 minutes. Go straight back to your desk. Okay, desk. You embark on your 10-meter journey. An arduous, terrifying expedition strewn with difficulties, accidents, and even danger. As you walk across the moonlit ground, you can't help but look up. The next second, your mind is flying amongst the stars in the boundless sky. Stop. You're already outside the gates. When you come to your senses, you are greeted by something that transcends work. The limitless universe. How long has it been since I came here? The countless days and nights observing the stars within the confines of the Institute. I forgot how much I have to crane my neck to see the stars. But when I bury my head in data, I can discover so much more. I should come here more often. But there's always something pressing at hand. Such a rare opportunity. The urgent proposals are I should be able to find all those stars again. Thud. You collapse, and all your worries fade into the background. But simply ignoring and dodging problems won't help you get rid of the terrible monster. Inside the Okay. What the hell? Inside the institution, the proposals you ignored are starting to groan. They can no longer stand this deliberate neglect. Driven by hunger, they grow larger and larger as they search for the one to blame. Until finally they break the restraints of their vessel and come after you with ravenous intent. Uh-huh. Our own research wants her booty? Alright. Twinkling stars. These are interesting to do.
Sirius, Betelgeuse. They look so close to each other in the eyes of mankind.
Betelgeuse Romane Conti? That's sorry.
But they are actually over 600 light years apart.
Whether immersed in the boundless universe, an expansive plane, or a quiet bathroom, one cannot escape the contemplation of life. Under the cover of the starry night, the hungry beasts crawl to your side, entangling your legs.
Hungry, forbid, project, delay.
Uh-huh.
What?
Countless ravenous hands grab hold of you, trying to drag you back to the terrifying lair known as the Research Institute. Such is the fate of the procrastinator.
Relaxing is important for...
Deadline.
Okay, this one is kinda... this one's kinda funny, I'm not gonna lie. Our obligations are a monster. Kinda fitting. But also this kinda making me laugh. You struggle to run away, but they just won't let you go. Darkness envelops your eyes and you feel yourself being dragged back to work. You can neither stop nor turn around. The only thing you can do now is to prevent yourself from being crushed further in this mental car crash. Alright. The feeling of dread is getting stronger. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, what does this do? Oh, good. These thoughts are starting to creep up on me. Gotta focus. Okay. The shadow will stalk you when you enter this area. Figured. Triggering the event will create a sealed area to block the shadow. Okay. Looking at the piles of data, you are feeling at a loss. But you have to take the first step away. Now start the engine of your brain and try to keep up with your hands. Organize data. The data in May. We saw nothing that day thanks to the dark clouds. You remember that day. A bunch of children swarmed into the observatory, surrounded the telescope and equipment, and poked around curiously. Flashback? They were children of wealthy families. Some were children of professors, others were invited because of their parents' generous donations to Banner University. Ordinary children had to pay a higher price to observe the universe, but she knew that. Distracted by shiny new discoveries, the kids would soon pay no attention to the dreariness of this place.
Unfortunately, because of the bad weather, they have to come here another day.
The children sighed in unison and hurried to the observatory exit. One girl stayed, clutching her dirty clothes, staring at the telescope twice her size.
You should go with them.
Are you the admin here? I love this big girl. She's beautiful.
Nice taste. But I'm not the admin.
That's a relief. The things I had to go through to get here, to see this, following those nosy brats and sneaking in behind them all. You know, this place is over 20 kilometers from the foot of the mountain, don't you? Is no one picking you up? I can walk. May I take a look at the sky, just for a second? Frowning at the request, you look at the dark clouds covering the sky, and glance at the specks of mud on the girl's ankles.
Please.
She looks up at you, eyes wide open as if sparkling with tears, and tugging at your clothes. Promise me you'll take my ride back home.
Deal!
The memory of her eager gaze and spirited figure brings warmth to the cold institution. Organizing observational data, analyzing celestial orbits, you seem to have found some of the drive you once had. Cute. Processing this part of the data went better than I thought. Great. Let's stay as focused as this. Oh. An unfinished orbit model is shown on the screen. You have to fill in the data one by one and complete the calculation. A tedious task indeed. Fill in the data. 1 row, 2 rows, your arms are getting sore, but you're only just getting started. It's Kumar's requirement that you must enter the observation data yourself, even though the job is supposed to be done by interns. Her stubbornness has led many colleagues to resign. Another flashback.
Researchers should treat their observation data like their own child. Will you leave your child to the homeless on the street? Sorry, no offense, Gaurav.
Poor Gaurav.
Kumar, I've already been away from home for 2 whole days just to fill in the observation data.
Now all I know is I have a real child at home. I need to take care of him instead of your damn metaphor. I should be with him now, before the nanny puts more funny ideas into his head. So, the solution to your problem is to simply find yourself a nanny or a husband with an education degree, right? Himani's cheeks flushed red.
You know what? I quit. Jab har me, Kumar.
Wow. She stormed out of the door. Kumar ordered Gaurav to pick up her things and throw them out like garbage. Himani is crouched on the ground, sobbing. You walk up to her.
I won't come back.
With a hand on her forehead, she seems to be suffering a severe headache. Kumar should know. Not everyone is like her. And you, willing to dedicate your whole life to the mysteries of the universe.
I have my own life.
Yet she trampled on my dignity. I will never forgive her. You never saw her again after that. Your mind has returned to reality. You look back at the screen, your fingers typing mechanically. Good. All the data has been filled in to the rhythm of your keystrokes. Now you just need to wait for the big guy to generate the complete model. Mission accomplished. Now I can finally give my fingers a break. Uh-huh. The monster finally quiets down, like a giant beast falling into a deep slumber. You pack up the documents and turn off the computer. You know that this is far from over. A nightmare still looms ahead, and you've only cleared one of many hurdles to come. Your colleagues are about to wake up, yet what you need is a dream in quietude. You get into the car and isolate yourself. Soon you pass out and sink into the depths of your consciousness. Oh boy. Working overtime. Joy. Alright. Confrontation. Let's see. Well, she had definitely a life with Kumar back at the research lab. Banner University Lecture Hall. In a crowded building, you walk into a classroom and step onto the podium with a file in your hand. The scrutinizing gazes coming from below are hard to ignore. It feels both familiar and overwhelming.
This report given here concerns the work, the supernova under the binary star system of White Dwarf FYDL 82A.
Your audience adjusts their posture and listens to your introduction. They have questions, but their professionalism tells them to wait until the end. Also, very quickly, this just reminds me, wasn't there a supernova that was actually observed at one point? Let me see these numbers. Okay, couldn't find anything on those numbers. So, let's move on. Your audience adjusts their posture and listens to your introduction. They have questions, but their professionalism tells them to wait until the end. Occasionally, they frown at some of your arcane terms, as if this were not a serious academic report. The rest of the time, they keep a stern face, as they see themselves as academic royalty.
Thank you for listening.
TLDR, they are very full of themselves. The audience looks at each other, and the silence in the classroom is deafening. Aside from you, no one notices the monster lurking at the door like the sword of Damocles. Pardon. This is going to be a tough battle. That's also an interesting analogy. Whoa, what am I looking at? No thought comes from nowhere. That anxiety is as traceable as the data. I should find a pattern behind it. The momentary shadow will pause from time to time. Time your moves to pass through unharmed. After a short pause, the momentary shadow will materialize for 1 round. Do not engage it directly. Okay. Oh, where am I? Oh, I'm here. Uh-oh. Well... He reads your report carefully, but the content does not dispel the doubt on his face. He seems to be looking at a plate of indescribable food.
First of all, you're an Arcanist, right?
They seem to know everything about you, but you remain calm and collected, as if you've never hidden your identity before.
Yes.
But I don't think that has anything to do with my report. If research proposals can have fearful gaping maws... If research proposals can have fearful gaping maws, then what's so strange about them knowing a few things about you? If you look at my signature on the report, it clearly states that I'm an Arcanist. I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of. You breathe a sigh of relief. You might even say you've waited a long time for this discussion.
Of course, everyone is welcome to study astronomy. We astronomers have an open mind.
Mm-hmm. But in your report, I found a lot of trajectory data that are impossible to obtain through observation. According to scientific assessments, the technology to build any instruments for these observations doesn't yet exist, and the tools we have cannot provide such precise data. So either you fabricated the data, or you used your so-called arcane skills to... This unobservable data was not entirely obtained through arcane skills. I refer to a large number of spectrum analysis and observation reports made by other scholars. Arcane skills only played a very small part in this process. You interrupt him, frowning at the rudeness of his tone. You can check the divination data in the past years on page 24. It matches 97% of the data obtained by normal means. The margin of error is perfectly acceptable.
That's what's been written here.
Your comparison is exhaustive. He frowns as he flips through the appendix and falls into a long silence. As if to ease the discomfort, he gestures for the next professor to ask questions. Uh-oh. Take a deep breath. No doubts, don't hesitate. Just do it in order and make progress. Find a pattern so I can keep these shadows at bay. He doesn't try to hide his contempt. It's there for all to see.
I will never approve a report written by an Arcanist.
I'll say the ideas in your head are hardly worth listening to.
Astrolabe, spice, and hourglass. It's not a game with my stupid little daughter.
He stands up in anger and puts his hands on the table for support.
If you do the research in a human way, I'll say nothing but welcome. However, you acquired all those data through absurd methods.
You remain unfazed, long accustomed to this.
My apologies.
Sorry, but your objection has nothing to do with the contents of my research. You are just attacking me personally. I will not respond the way you want, but please allow me to give you a suggestion. Respect your daughter. Damn! Burned by the gazes around him, the man flushes and sits down in panic. He is a hard nut to crack, but fortunately you still have other choices. One hand supporting his chin, the other tapping the table. This man seems to be evaluating your report seriously. Could you explain the 3% margin of error in the comparison table between the divination data and the normal observation data? A 3% error is indeed negligible, but I'd like to know if there's a commonality among these inconsistencies. If the commonality is universal, it may indicate that you have manipulated data, or even fabricated results.
You made a valid point, but I don't have the evidence of something I did not do.
I can show you more of the collected data. You can do a random check to see if I have faked the conclusion.
I have no further questions.
The truth will remain unaffected, whether you are an Arcanist or not. He nods, acknowledging your research. You can't help but heave a sigh of relief. The one good guy, huh? Okay. Cool. Goodbye, doggy. Or monster, or whatever you are. Anxiety. That's a kitten. You look outside and see the monster reduced to the size of a cat, purring with satisfaction. Your speech was remarkably effective. The crowd disperses, but the next interrogation approaches. You don't have much time to compose yourself. This is a fun way of showing showing anxiety and stuff. How it manifests. How it looks. How it looks inside of your brain. Okay. The Art of Defense, Part 4. Alright. According to the data, the distance between White Dwarf FYDL82A and its secondary star is gradually decreasing. Oh, those are... Oh god, she named them earlier. Beetlejuice and the other one I forgot. Sirius? Was that it? Anyway. They're like two circling marbles falling into the same hole, except they will not collide or separate. The White Dwarf will absorb matter from the secondary star, after which the two will merge, producing a nuclear fusion.
In conclusion, a supernova that is closer to Earth than any other ones in history will take place.
Oh, that's the supernova they're talking about. The Beetlejuice one. Right. Right. I'm starting to remember why that name is standing out to me. Right. Okay. I remember that from documentaries about stars and shit. Okay. That's why that stood out. That's why the supernova thing as well also stood out. Okay. The professors in the conference room are left speechless and need a few moments to digest this shocking reveal. But yeah, TLDR, for those of you who do not know, there is a star that is very close to our very own solar system that could at any given point go supernova, and when it happens, when it actually happens, we will be able to see the flash of that explosion for, I think the prediction was about like a whole full week it will be visible. The funny thing is, we don't know it yet because of how long light takes to reach us, essentially. But the supernova might have already happened. It could have already happened and we don't know it yet. Because we can only observe light when it reaches us. So basically looking back into the past by looking up at the stars. But I think there was also predictions of what could happen to our very own solar system on top of it because of the closeness. Now, the solar system will not be blown away, of course, but the resulting particles that will be pretty much ejected from the explosion and are gonna go all around could cause some minor inconveniences, potentially. But yeah, anyway. Our current data is not enough for simulating the supernova's influence on the Earth's orbit. But its radiation can be destructive to the living things on Earth. And she just said it. Pretty much what I was trying to say. You put down the research report, unsettled by the silence in the conference room. Do they see the significance of your report? Or are they speechless because they think it's ridiculous? Or are they just too shocked to say a single word? Uh-huh. Is our snarling big boy back? Uh-oh. Okay. Let's see. There he is. Okay.
Your conclusion shocked us.
But I suppose you anticipated this.
Yes.
Have you considered the possible panic it may cause among the public? If your conjecture is wrong, the institution will become the target of public opinion. That is not something our researcher needs to consider. Fear and doubt are always present in this search for truth. First one. It is our researcher's duty to discover and deduce all possibilities. I'm just doing my job. As for the panic it might cause, this is not part of my consideration. I'm only responsible for ensuring my research report complies with the research integrity agreement. He strokes his beard, frowning. Okay. From here. Shit. Okay. I have no objection to your conclusion. Your data is certainly rigorous. But I'm curious, if your prediction is correct, is there any way to protect us from this radiation? Or will you leave this problem to others? I'm only responsible for finding problems. There is only so much we can do. I'm only responsible for finding problems. There is only so much we can do. Yeah. At this time, we are unable to analyze the composition of the radiation. I have no solution. It sounds depressing, but it's true. I think our hope lies in further research. It seems I'll have...
It's like I won't sleep well for a long time until we figure it out.
He shakes his head, takes off his glasses and rubs the bridge on his nose. Well... It is an unprecedented thing, so you know. There we go.
I'd say this report is a doom-mongering work.
You have to admit that this report is heavily influenced by the Arcanum. How can I trust an Arcanist? I have reason to believe you're using this report to bring Arcanists into the public eye to give them prominence, just as some religions do. This is a prejudiced notion that data does not lie. The data does not lie. The movement of celestial bodies is not influenced by my will. It is the observational and comparative data that predicts the possibility. You may think that Arcanists are full of lies, but data will always tell you the truth.
A smart answer. But time will tell if you're a sly Arcanist.
Alright. Oh god, I need to get all the way back. Run. Run from the anxiety. Run. At some point I have to face that thing. That is representing her anxiety and doubts, and at some point we are facing that. You let out a long sigh of relief. You survived the inquiry, and the monster at the door is gone. At least now, you don't have to worry about being dragged back to the Institute like a lamb for slaughter. Hostility and doubts cast aside, the professors give you a few more suggestions, in a gentle way this time. Obviously, these suggestions are much more useful than their interrogations. It seems you'll have to spend more time perfecting the report. So far, you still have not noticed the black star floating above your head. Oh! Well, that's an interesting analogy. Success! Okay, that's the first page. Either this or that. Let's see. Back at the Institute, you worry over the professor's highlights in the report. There are still data gaps in the orbital trajectory of the secondary star, but you know this won't be an issue. It's just that examining the observational data will take a lot of energy and time, and arcane skills will get you the previous data more easily, provided you can accept the negligible error.
Ouch!
Something just hit your head hard. You look up to find the greeting of a black star. You feel that if you don't decide soon, your fragile neck will have to retire early. Actually, would that be so bad? What? My dear, please take care of yourself. Whether I follow the guiding light of my conscious mind or seek the fleeting light of inspiration, the choice is mine to make. Okay. Reach the destination within 10 focus or higher, okay. Select study subject and reach the exit. Oh, I see what it's putting me against. Either the raw data or the Arcanum. You drive to the observatory and feel your way into the moldy reference room. This smell can ruin your appetite for days. Cheer up. Look at you, sneaking into the reference room in the middle of the night. How adventurous you have become.
At least better than Kumar's bedroom.
Wow!
So the past data of the secondary star is...
As you move the pile of documents, a swarm of bugs pours out from the bottom. Ugh.
No!
For a moment, you wish you had a torch so you could burn the place down and kill these cute little buggers. You see, the tedious life of a researcher has turned you into a child devoid of compassion and sympathy. I can do this. You tiptoe, hold your breath, and rummage through the data books on the floor. You pick up a bounty of records, and soon your bag is filled with all the data logs you need. After escaping the insect nest, sweet air fills your lungs. Such an epic adventure in search of truth should be etched into the annals of history. Can I still... Oh no, this is blocked now. I see. Okay. Interesting.
These data. The movement of the secondary star was even more extreme than it is now.
As you read the data, sweat begins to run down your cheeks. Sweet sweat.
It was even closer to the white dwarf in the past. Until it reaches an extremum and deflects away?
Until it reached a minimum distance and returned to its orbit? My prediction
is wrong?
You know what this can mean. The endless toil of starting over again, not unlike a Sisyphean punishment.
No. Something must be wrong with these data. Either the observer or my mistake.
You eagerly want to prove the data is wrong, but a copy of data for comparison is stored in the Banner University library. Unfortunately, it's already late at night and the library is closed. You're itching to act. It will be a sleepless night if you don't get an answer. Why hesitate? Oh, she snuck in? Okay. You sneak into the library, which is quiet as a graveyard. You find the data and quickly flip through the pages, noticing that there are blank spots at where important data should be. These are remnants of an erasure. The owner of this data book had meticulously recorded the deduction process of the dataset, only to later delete this part of the data completely. This missing data could either completely overturn my research or finally prove my findings. Unbelievable. He must have known that I would find this place. I'm sure he knew how important this data was. What compelled him to do all this? In arrogance, all is beneath you. In humility, nothing eludes you. You see a familiar maxim taped to the bookshelf. You lower your head and see the corner of a book by your feet. The answer you've been looking for. You open the data book and soon see the familiar signature of the observer. Ironically, it reads Kumar. But yet, she has always been the one who supported your predictions the most. The star hanging above your head wobbles and sways. Uh-oh. Thoughts heavy. Okay, very quickly, I'm just gonna check out what happens if you select the other thing and if it's the same thing. Oh, this is different. Under the cloth is a wooden disc full of vine-like patterns. The flowers of the mandrake. You chose the easiest way. Has anyone ever mentioned your lack of adventure and patience? You put a piece of paper on the disc and trace a circle on it. You close your eyes and relax, allowing the power from beyond your mind to take over your arm. You hear the paper rustling. A masterpiece is in the making. A moment later, your hand stops, as if the strings controlling it were broken. You open your eyes and see an absurd, unusual painting. It looks just like a mural from ancient times. You touch it, imprinting the drawing in your mind, and close your eyes again. Now concentrate. Imagine the secondary star orbiting the white dwarf. The scenario of your dreams begins to play out in your mind. Oh? Ooh, this is interesting. Whoa. A podium, dazzling spotlights. Kumar rises from her seat, and a shower of applause. A smile graces her face. The unusual indifference is gone without a trace.
No. Try again.
The scene of your dreams begins to reappear in your mind. You concentrate, but the sound of a flushing toilet is coming from the distance. Water spirals down the toilet. Two black spheres are carried by the current. Between them, a bottomless darkness.
What's this?
Clearly, the sound of the water has created a strange image in your meditation. But soon you notice that the trajectory of these spheres in the water looks just like long face will do you no good. Record the precious data before it goes away. Okay. So now the question is... will the outer cutscene also... oh. Okay, yeah. Cutscene is the same. No matter what you choose, it's only a different cutscene playing depending on which item you pick up. Anyway, next one. The Fading Stars. According to Kumar's past observational data, the secondary star's trajectory changes periodically. It approaches the white dwarf until a minimum distance, and then the entire orbital trajectory begins to change.
Which means?
Then the supernova explosion, I've inferred, would be nothing more than an absurd conjecture. All my previous research would become a pile of waste paper. Kumar, what were you thinking? If my conjecture is wrong, there was no point in hiding it. Allowing me to go further and further down the wrong path. All that wasted time and money. What was it for then? What was it in it for her? It seems I'll have to observe it myself. To prove your mistake, you'll just observe the secondary star on its nodal day, and you'll have the answer. And the nodal day is...
tomorrow?
How fortunate. Who else could personally experience both the confirmation and the collapse of their work in just a few days? There's no time to waste. The most pressing matter now is to choose a telescope for observation, which is your specialty. The optical telescope, although hampered by haze, is still the most widely used tool for everyday observations. Simple and affordable. I remember Gurav sending one to his grandmother in Mavlinog? I guess? I guess. Mavlinog. The X-ray telescope can only detect X-rays emitted after the white dwarf's eruption, but it's still far from time. And radio telescope? It can observe the radio waves emitted by distant stars, unaffected by weather and atmosphere. The celestial body hanging overhead gradually expands, like a canvas of darkness. Looks like its patience is running out. You look at the thick clouds, deep in thought. Uh-oh. Our inner demons are getting bigger. In the search for truth, we must always face the prospect of existing knowledge being invalidated, and the data we've gathered becoming useless. Some paths are safe and steady, and other paths are unstable and weak. True. Between the... Okay. So... oh. Some areas may have unstable ground that crumbles when you walk on it. Plan your steps carefully. Uh-oh. Uh-huh. Oh, I see. I see. Uh-huh. The X-ray telescope. Kumar often uses as a touchstone for spotting the gifted. Are you really going to choose this? Is your memory failing you? A researcher's brain can't be this smooth. Let's take a little trip down memory lane. Okay, flashback.
So none of you know what it is.
The classroom fell silent. The students stared at the arrogant instructor, clueless.
It's ridiculous that the emission would let you students with no common sense get into my classroom.
It seems I'm expected to stuff the wonder of the celestial bodies into your empty heads. An X-ray telescope. You raise your hand, giving the answer.
Hmm?
She looked at you with interest. This telescope can receive X-rays emitted by celestial bodies for analysis and observation. It's launched into space and has an extremely long observation distance. But it doesn't perform well when observing celestial bodies that emit weak rays, such as a stable white dwarf. Your expectant gaze met her eyes, which held the hint of a smile.
Not bad.
At least you're not as empty-headed.
Please come see me after the class.
Since then, the other students have secretly called you and Kumar the Siamese twins. You didn't bother to deny it because the two of you became almost inseparable. The more time you spent with her, the more you became like her in temperament. Like a sponge, you began to absorb her wisdom and insight. Yet today, you come here like one of those ignorant students. Is your life a living comedy? No, but it's a Ouija game. Which could be a comedy. Uh-oh. That's a problem. Yeah. Okay, well, I've seen that cutscene now, so I can ignore it. Let's see. Oh, that's the correct choice. Okay. You haven't been back here for years. When Kumar first brought you here, she saw you as her sole successor. Radio telescopes can receive information from even more distant celestial bodies through radio radiation. Unlike an optical telescope, it won't give you just a rough picture of the universe. The receiver processes the radiation signals and converts them into their final form for recording and display.
Which means?
It works no matter what the weather or the atmosphere is like. Yes, but it is not an extension of the human eye. It represents the star to us from a different angle, in precise data.
The accurate and precise data to us means the same as the stunning night sky to them.
This is our first lesson, child. The moment you enter the research institute, the glittering stars in your eyes will cease to twinkle. The vast universe will become tedious. When you look up at the night sky, you will find the primal thrill slowly leaving you, and that is the price of researching for its secrets. She taught you everything she knew, and treated you as her own child. Until finally you realized she was just nurturing another version of herself.
The switch.
You turn on the radio telescope and hold your breath, getting ready for the final reveal. Is this a cruel joke of Kumar's, or a ridiculous blunder? We'll see soon. I fucked up. Okay, hold on. While I have the opportunity, then let me check the final device and just see what the message is gonna be when it pops up. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, I'm just going here to check what it is. You head straight for the optical telescope at the observatory. That's where you met Kumar for the first time. You will never forget that day.
Why?
Why did she conceal the observed data? She must have known my conjecture was probably wrong from the start. You touch the time-worn telescope, wondering if it can tell you the answer. Oh, another flashback. Little Kara!
Child, how long have you been here? You would like to see it. right?
You bobbed your head hesitantly, like an indecisive puppy wagging its tail. She gently moved aside, stepping back to make room. You clenched your fists. That was the first time you wanted to touch something beyond your reach, which unexpectedly led you to a future you had never imagined. You got onto the stage and brought your eye close to the gateway to the universe. Adorable. You understand this place won't help you with the problem. This is just a visit for you to reminisce. Well, at least it helped you remember a few things. That did it. Oh, I just noticed the side objective is to investigate all telescopes. Well, shoot, let's do that. Okay, let's see. You drag your very body back to the Institute. Your brain is groaning, craving sleep like never before. According to the radio telescope's observation, Kumar's data was correct every step of the way. The observation results are a death sentence, condemning you as a failure, your research nothing more than an absurd mistake. And Kumar had known this all along, but remained silent. After all, it was your research. Electricity arcs inside the light bulb, and the room pulsates between light and darkness. It's an old problem with the wiring. Tolerating its inconvenience has long been the consensus. But the flaws will pile up like an insurmountable debt until everything bobbles and falls apart, beyond salvation. Jesus. The darkness descends upon the room like an unpleasant intruder. It is heavy, as are your feelings. There is no one around. Holding the report tightly, you close your eyes and open them again.
I should have known.
This entire research was just a small part of her plan. From the moment I entered the Institute, she no longer saw me as a student. Flames ignite, crawling up the paper. You know, this is just one insignificant segment among the countless, meaningless threads between mankind and Arcanists. A journey left unfinished, a chapter left unconcluded, and a theory left unproved. Kumar, I hope this is the last lesson you left me. The report burns. Birds turn to ash and dissolve into the air. The secondary star's trajectory is consistent, but there are small anomalies in some of the observation data. The amount of such anomalous data is scarce, and was considered an observational error.
Wait.
In that case... You try to put out the fire, but what's left of the report turns to dust in the palm of your hand. Had an epiphany a second too late. Alright. Two left. Celestial bodies and mythologies. Let's see. It's gonna be the conclusion to this. This definitely also leads into the main portion of the story, I would say. Biting your finger, you stare at the empty table. Not all is lost, though. There are still copies of the report archived at the Institute.
How come Kumar got the same abnormal data too?
I hadn't noticed this before. The dataset Kumar obtained through arcane skills also has an eerily similar 3% error. A 3% error. At the inquiry, Kapoor and Dutt also expressed doubts about it. Is this a coincidence? No, it can't be. Unless Kumar and I fell into the same trap and made the same mistake. You feel a tremor, as if electricity is running through you.
Is it possible that the changes of the orbit follow a certain pattern?
You push the desk and chairs aside and spread all the observational logs on the floor. You can't figure out what common factor is influencing your research and Kumar's. The truth is, many wrong false conclusions stem from a lack of respect for coincidences.
No way.
These errors happened at near the same time in every dataset. You are determined to get to the bottom of this once and for all. There is work to be done. The twilight outside the window is about to catch up with me. If we keep delaying about indecisively, our focus is going to be completely used up. Books, food, bugs, anything goes as long as it gets this brain to wake up again. Oh, this is all glass. Ooh, this is gonna be trial and error. Okay. Let's see. Morning light spills on the ground. You spent the entire night analyzing the data, but found nothing. Gulping down a cup of coffee, you lean against a file cabinet and watch the world outside awaken. There isn't much time left. Wait, what's that book on the ground? You seem to remember it.
I thought I lost it.
A brief history of celestial bodies, mythological compilation. You pick it up and pat the dust of it. The spine is labeled Banner Elementary School Library. This library really should put you on their blacklist.
The origin of the star Faust.
In the beginning, the universe was shapeless, dark, and silent, like a bottomless well. A speck of dust falling into the endless darkness was the primordial Faust. He marked out his territory, safeguarding peace and order as would a king, but it was a land without subjects. A crooked grey scribble is scrawl below the words. This writing. You remember it was written with a pencil shorter than your pinky. Flashback. He marked out his territory, safeguarding peace and order as would a king, but it was a land without subjects. You held the book while she propped her chin attentively. Wow, just like teacher Sakash from our hut. She told us there was nothing in the hut at first, just some rotten planks. No one wanted to learn from her. They all said, instead of staring at numbers, they might as well go herd cows to earn some money for chapati.
I'm sorry.
That's a shame. She sounds like a good teacher. Don't worry, it was only temporary. Later, the cowherd Salman stood quietly by the window and left a ruler behind. Soon after, the seam from the cart driver's family brought over a table and bench, each missing a leg. Over time, more and more people came. Teacher Sakash told us that there are more stars in the night sky than grains of rice in a pot. I haven't counted the stars. Phew, don't try that. But I sure have counted grains of rice. My god, kid, how bored were you? Teacher Sakash is absolutely right. She scratched her head. But then she said the rice grains in the pot will one day outnumber the stars in the sky. That really confuses me. You can come with her next time. You'll be very welcome. She turned her face away, dejectedly. Oh. That... It just hit me what the analogy means. The number of rice in the pot will one day outnumber the stars in the sky. Because... stars die and drift away, essentially. Also, all the galaxies are drifting away from each other into the unknown, so even galaxies that are observable right now will be gone at some point, because they're gonna be just too far away. Anyway. It's too high, and too far from here. Besides, I came to count the stars, and I've already got my answer. Teacher Sakashi's wrong. There are so many stars in the sky that grains of rice can never outnumber them. Teachers make mistakes too. That's what she told me. She took out a pencil and left a dot to mark the end of the story. I should get going. Let's stop here for today. Thank you. Wait. When will you come back again? I don't know. The hut is getting demolished, so we're looking for a new place. Once we find a new hut, I'll come back to find you. If I don't come back... She wrote something on the page, one stroke at a time. You can come and find me here. An address? More pumph? Yet, I never saw her again. You turn the page and find that part of the book gone. Something urges you on, like a faint sense of guilt. Leaning down, you hold back the urge to retch, looking for the missing page with the address. Oh god. Oh. Okay, flashback. If we completely rely on human research methods with our funding, we probably can't even secure the necessary equipment. Make good use of the shortcuts, child. Don't try to win by their rules alone. But data obtained through arcane skills isn't entirely accurate. It will directly affect the research results. I'm telling you, cast aside your preferences. You can use human observational data to validate your research, while using arcane skills to always stay one step ahead of them. He has a point. She has a point. She sat back down, burying her head in the piles of documents. Why are you still here? I left the book here. Is it this one? I thought it belonged to that dim-witted intern. Wow. She threw the book at you, its pages rustling as it fell to the ground. Sorry, I tore out some pages to use as draft paper. You can buy another copy if you need it. Just make a note in the research budget. She didn't look up the whole time. There's no need. You picked up the pages and hurried out of that stifling office. The last page is still in the book, but some pages in the middle are missing. You push away the desk, chewing gum, scraps of paper, pallets of feces, cereal bars, and a sleeping rat. There's an unfinished page in its arms. Thank goodness it's not a fast eater. Get the page. You snatch the page from the rat. It squeaks and scurries out of the office. Well, hopefully you don't feel guilty about that. This is probably the missing page. Flattening and unfolding it, you restore the crumpled page to its original form. But the address on it is nowhere to be found.
What?
What is going on? I remember. Yes, you remember that dim-witted intern. Uh-oh. That's it for today. You can go now, Gaurav. Okay, Miss Kalabona, but I think I'll stay a while longer. I need to double-check this data on the spectral lines.
See you tomorrow then.
A hand stopped you. Sorry, is this your book, Miss Calabuna?
Yes.
It is. My mother used to read me this story. I'm very sorry I flipped through it just now without permission. This page seems to have data copied down by Miss Kumar. That unpleasant feeling again.
Get rid of it for me.
You remember leaving without looking back. Oh, he tossed that page away. The truth comes out. It was you who erased the address and the data. But something else springs to mind.
Wait. Data on the spectral lines?
A kernel of truth emerges.
Gurov was actually able to distinguish single stars from binary stars? Then his data wasn't wrong.
With this realization, you run back to the lab, take out the diagrams, and match them up one by one. Another answer emerges in your mind.
Gurov had been meticulously recording data all along. He never missed a thing. It was me and Kumar, using data obtained through arcane skills, who misled the whole team.
Huh. The truth no longer eludes you, but it is too late. You flip the papers back and forth, your eyes darting from place to place.
No, it's not that simple. With the data we got through arcane skills, combined with Gurov's analysis, there's a new possibility.
Another star in the system which is yet to be found.
Another undiscovered star, huh?
What if this star only appears at the orbit's nodal points of change and is beyond detection at other times?
You circle the nodal points, overturning your research step by step. In the face of discovering a new star, this labor seems inconsequential.
An undiscovered star that intermittently attracts the secondary star. Whenever the binary star is on the verge of a supernova, it pulls the secondary star back into the proper orbit. This game is more interesting than you thought, Kumar.
Leaving the mess in the institution behind, you go back to the observatory. The star above your head happily follows as an approval of your decision. Aside from avoiding the peaks of solar radio emission, the radio telescope has no other limitations. Your heart is being squeezed as if you were holding it in your hand.
So, the conclusion is?
Well, we're gonna see the conclusion right about now, because one more note is missing. Okay, final one, Dust and Stars. Under the night sky, William Herschel's symphony echoes throughout the observatory. In 1758, when the musician was at the concert hall, he probably never imagined that he would one day accomplish what many astronomers have struggled a lifetime to achieve: discovering Uranus, the seventh planet in the solar system. It all started with a popular science book, which absurdly claimed that there were human-like creatures living on comets and the sun. The sun. Good old beliefs. So he tried to look for these living things on the distant celestial bodies through a refracting telescope. The blurred images disappointed him greatly. He had no choice but to spend great efforts and a large sum of money building his own telescope.
But he didn't find any life on the celestial bodies. Instead, He discovered a planet overlooked and neglected by astronomers and became famous overnight, attracting worldwide attention. You fear the loss of status so much, thinking its benefits irreplaceable, yet the benefits often find another way, baffling you. Fate loves this kind of reversal, casting the seeds of hope in one direction, only to grow a towering tree in a place you never expected.
Night falls, revealing the stars in the sky. You sigh as the boundless universe has not given you the answer you expected. The god of fortune does not smile on you. An undiscovered star simply does not exist. Are you sure about that?
Hope that is barely born, only to be extinguished. Truth that is certain yet doubtful. The traces of our going back and forth between these two extremes are evidence of our progress.
Okay. Nice analogy with this movement. And now we fight this thing. Okay. What am I fighting? Oh, I'm fighting this thing? Celestial body.
I thought it was an academic debate.
Okay. Well, let's destroy you.
As expected. Hope I remember how. It's happening. Your ending is waiting. An arduous calculation. Try this. Be faithful to the as expected. Everything has its cause and effect. Hope I remember her.
Nice.
I've seen your struggle written in the stars.
Destroyed. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, I'm picking up planets. That's fun. Okay. On the dark pole of the night sky, specks of light appear one after another. Orion, Canis Major, they are made up of irregular celestial bodies. People name them in imitation of nature.
I negated
my own theory and rebuilt it again and again. Every time I found the spark of hope in the darkness, the truth just put it out against my will.
Oh. You lean against the railing of the observatory. A vast, dense forest lies below. You stop observing and look up at the night sky you've missed for so long. How many people have been inspired by this celestial wonder and entered the realm of astronomy? Luminosity, distance, lifespan, they measure these beautiful celestial bodies by human standards, describing them in words and numbers, and assign them coordinates.
If the Arcanists of Mesopotamia saw what human astronomy is like now, they would go mad and try to tear it all down. They observed tens of thousands of stars, call these stars clusters living beings, and eventually built a magnificent celestial system. They recorded all the astronomical phenomena and compiled them into records that guided mankind, only to be sentenced to death for their predictions and forecasts.
Flashback, Kumar stood in front of the podium. That was the only time you saw her emotionally moved.
3 months ago, archaeologists discovered cuneiform tablets near the Tigris River. The Mesopotamian astronomers who were punished by death left these words on the tablets. We once measured the infinite with our insignificant bodies and recorded eternity in our fleeting existence. No need to remember, no need to pander. We perish, but truth remains eternal. No matter where you end up in the future, keep these words to heart. They are the very essence of our existence.
Good words. Oh boy, time for the doggy to be back. Oh boy, you spawned in a spot. Huh. Okay, follow me, doggy. Good boy. There we go. Screw you. What is the price we must pay for a kernel of truth? In our theory of lifelong devotion is... If our theory of lifelong devotion is proven wrong, how are we to not collapse and still carry on? The pain is an inevitable cost that we must bear. Only by concluding this chapter can we move on to a new path, perhaps one that leads to the truth.
I think I'm ready.
You reach out, stroking the celestial body above your head, as if you've reached an understanding with it. It starts to ascend, first floating in the air, then the sky, and at last towards the end of sight. Having abandoned the theory doomed to failure, you can barely contain your sadness. Nevertheless, you breathe a long sigh of relief. Why? Okay, flashback again. Why do you want to look at the universe?
It's the one thing that no one can take from me. One of the two things. I still have this broken shirt. Stars don't die. And they don't need to eat. No one can occupy them by spending money.
They are so beautiful.
Not a good reason?
Well, my daddy is in Maulinong. The stars are the only one thing we can watch together when we're on the phone.
The sink full of greasy dishes, endless housework. I want to run away from them. Even though life was filled with unstoppable snores and cries, I knew I was living for myself as long as I still saw the stars.
Because they are just there.
When I am hungry, I always lie on the floor and look at the stars.
They twinkle just like diamonds.
I wish I could pick them off one day and put them all in my pocket. Then I'll exchange them for a near dosa as large as a coral.
Cute. Their shadows overlap, then fade away one by one. You reach out, framing an area with your index and thumb, the location of the white dwarf, FYDL82A.
I will remember you, little star.
It senses your existence and starts to flicker. But something is not right. It gets brighter and brighter until it becomes the size of a pebble.
A supernova.
Congratulations. You stare in disbelief. The blinding light engulfs everything in sight. It burns your skin and stings your face. And there goes the reality marble. Space shattered. Back to reality. No more daydreaming. You wake up startled, shirt soaked in sweat.
Are you alright?
Miss Kalabuna? Gurav stands by the window holding the curtains. You block the glaring sunlight with your hand and tell him to pull back the curtains.
A dream?
You support your head, still feeling dizzy. The research report on the desk is as fresh as new. No Arcanist's name is signed on it. You are still safely hidden, disguised as a human.
I remember that book. It should be here somewhere.
New thoughts arise, urging you to take a different path from the one in the dream. So pretty much everything we went through was a dream. Okay, got it.
Found it.
On the page, what's left of the writing is still vaguely discernible. This is an appointment long overdue.
Gurav, I'd like to ask you a favor. Please drive me to this address. The car keys are on the table.
You point to the faded writing, as if she were still stubbornly inviting you to come. Oh, okay.
Also,
you put a form on his desk.
Have you considered becoming formal researcher?
Cute. That's the end. Alright. Interesting. Alright, both of these were kind of very interesting to see. And see their paths and everything. Oh. Obtain stars in stage 4, the art of defense. Did I not do that? Oh, I didn't. Okay, let me quickly clear this out and then we're gonna proceed into the trailers. But as a conclusion, I like both of these. These were nice. Shamane's was interesting because it leads directly into the main story. Pretty much. And just showcases his entire journey from pretty much losing everything, losing his arm, and then just finding himself and, well, being kind of at peace at stuff. And, this one was fascinating. Like, mostly a dream, but also at the same time showcasing her insecurities and, the weight of all of this weighing on her shoulders and mind and stuff like that. It was a very, very interesting depiction of the whole, like, mental imagery thing. But yeah, anyway, let me clear off stage 4 and then we are gonna do the usual trailer shenanigans and see about those. So, let's get on with it. Alright then, so, 3 trailers. The main trailer, which technically I could already watch because that's the thing that plays, but there is other stuff in here as always that I want to see. And of course the 2 character trailers. Like I said before, I'm gonna be skipping the EPs because those are always kind of like, well, the video is either gonna get flagged or not, so I'm not gonna risk it and just leave it out. I will listen to them in my own time, but as part of these videos, like I said before, I'm not gonna be including those anymore. Just to be on the safe side. Anyway, version 1.3 trailer, let's see.
Oh, just in time. Is this yours?
Yes!
Put it away, kid.
This shrine? Only few tourists are willing to... Only the locals know.
They have something to do with that comet myth I read about.
Some mythologies are the original translation of the realm. That's how we located the star. Which reaches level 5 on Torino scale.
Meteor shower! So many of them, as the news mentioned.
This Deepa festival will become a disaster.
It's all because of my sister, who I've only seen once in my life.
Yeah.
Is also my tutor.
Miss Shaja? Why? How you find this place?
Yep, pretty much same trailer.
My dear children, enjoy your Deepa festival.
Just less pixely.
I'll smash that door open, even if it takes the other arm of mine.
Not yet, best part.
When did you last look up at the sky? That's not how you look at a star. And you shouldn't lower your head.
Yep, pretty much same trailer. Sorry if I was quiet, but yeah, pretty much the same thing, but less pixels, more sharpness. Okay, new characters.
Here, they witnessed my rebirth as a shaman.
My friend that
I once thought this is the price I paid for being weak, but now I see it as a medal of...
I find it so funny that I already pulled him twice, randomly.
The hunt begins. Give me a hand, friend. I can't do this alone.
The night and the starry sky are always there for me. Just like they're there for everyone.
Also, what were the chances of pulling her just as I was about to read the story? What's the chance?
This showed me the entrance to the universe.
Someone calculate that chance.
I use these hands to put food on the table, like shuffling cards, doing coffee readings, and taking coins.
So she's one of the very rare 5 stars I don't have. I think there's like 5 stars at this point that I'm missing. Cool. Oh, okay. All this stuff. The first epic Utu flash gathering? Okay. Ooh, that looks nice. God, I need to rearrange my stupid island. It's a clutter at this point. It's an absolute clutter. Okay, interesting. Nothing too crazy. No new, like, big modes or something that I didn't see before that I usually discover in these trailers. But okay, interesting. Let's see now the trailer for Calabona.
Deepa Festival? To me, it's the synonym of family, which means nothing. But everything has a chance to change.
Mini Kala.
Star will become after it dies?
That day, I had a long talk with her. Talking about stars, ridicule, and unfairness. She's just like me, but she's something better.
Hey, this is the scene from her story.
More generous. That was a great time. We carried out our research together and became who we are. Until that speech.
It is special. It is a graveyard filled with corpses, as well as cradle for new stars.
Sorry, Miss Calabona, but how do you explain Miss Kumar's and your fake identities?
Fake identities? Arcanists. Damn it, how could you let Arcanists in?
It's an absurd failure. We lost our foothold and our paths diverged. But she stayed who she was. Just like how I first met her. Staring at the stars till the moment and she reached them with her own hands.
How long has it been since the last time you looked at the night sky? And the other stars? Kumar.
There is some very sad and heavy music in the background for the end there. What the hell am I looking at? Oh, I blame Arcanists for the bottom row right now. What is the juxtaposition between this to this? It's the same picture. I don't know what you mean. Anyway, that was a nice little trailer, but yeah, definitely had some heavy undertones with the music there. But yeah, also her, I forgot to say that earlier because she was promoted for that final fight in her story. Her promotional outfit looks very pretty. Okay, Shamane, my buddy, let's see about yours.
It was an early spring day like this one.
Oh shit.
I found him at my door.
Oh shit.
No, Father.
Yeah. That was also the shaman narrating.
He was reticent as the mountain rocks, silently begging for strength. But they would not answer to an unready soul.
Look what you have done, Pushya.
He would have fallen into the abyss. There was blood and tears. He would understand the weight of nature and regain his footing on the solid earth. That was the moment when he became my student.
Okay, that was a heavy one. That was a heavy trailer. Okay. Okay. Right. But good. Definitely good. Seeing a couple of... What? Disconnected? Excuse me, game? Why? What the hell? What the hell? We're at the end. Why are you being a dingus? Disconnected right at the end. But yeah.
One should never pass
that's
off
why.
loaf, for it's a violation of the scripture.
That's why. That's why it disconnected. That's why. Ah, it's the horsey. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to wrap up here. Thank you, game. I'm trying to wrap up all the dailies. Anyhow, overall, I really like the story with all of the bits and pieces, and the backstories for both of the characters were pretty good. I mean, to be fair, the Kala one was more of both a backstory, but also at the same time it was more of all of this stuff is weighing on her conscience kind of deal, while Shamane is going through the same kind of thing, but he just needs to face his fears essentially, and come into a balance with all things again before he can move on in life. But yeah, very interesting to see how these two stories correlate or rather how they lead into the main plot of this thing. So good stuff, very good stuff to get to understand both of these characters a tiny bit better. And I said this already before, the main story was also for the event was also pretty good and pretty interesting as well. with all the mirror dimension and kind of stuff, plus the looming danger of a star possibly crashing into the village, provoked by Kumar inside of the mirror dimension, which is kind of nutty. But yeah, this was cool and interesting, and I really enjoyed it. So next time we are gonna move on to yet another selection of character stories before we head into chapter 7, because they added this little card here for the prisoners of the cave. We can do now the story for 6 and 37, and then we're gonna move on into chapter 7. I'm probably gonna make it into a single episode for both of them, like I did this one today. So yeah, we'll see. But until then, guys, thank you very much. Hope this was fine. This is gonna be a pretty long episode probably, yet again. But the wrap-up episodes for the for these side events seem to be long every single time. But anyway, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed. If you did so, please consider leaving a like. It would help out a lot. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. There's definitely more to come. And yeah, if you want to support me more directly, there are also memberships on the channel for the members who are already there and supporting. Thank you very much. And yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye-bye.